right, we are going to talk about the wines we're selling for 36 bucks a bottle. In the scheme of things, $36 isn't even close to the most expensive wine in the world, but for me, I have the highest expectations of wine priced between $30 and $50 a bottle. And I rarely spend more than 50 bucks on a bottle because I know the kind of quality you can get if you look hard enough in that price range. So I've got 4 reds to talk to you about today. We don't have any whites in this price tier yet, although there will be a few coming within the next year. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is Quinta de Zaraloa, and this is a 2010 oaked blend from the Douro, Portugal. We've got Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, Tinta Roriz, and Tinta Barroca. Those are the 4 most popular grapes blended in the Douro, and it's really nice. This wine is super concentrated, and it's got a lot of flavor. This is a wine that I actually recommend decanting for a few hours before you start drinking it. But I also think it's fun to watch it evolve from the bottle. So having a sip, drinking it slowly and experiencing it in the first 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and 2 hours. And even on day 2 or 3, this wine continues to evolve. It's really big, it's really complex, super long finish, and delicious. Definitely has some oak in it, but that oak doesn't overpower the fruit in it. And there's actually a lot of purple flower in this wine as well. And it's really harmonious and cohesive. So it's definitely a favorite of mine. Next, I've got 2 wines from Francisco in the Rioja. Now, Francisco's, he's the man. His vines, these vines were planted by his grandfather in the early 1900s. The Garnacha comes from vines 107 years old, and the Tempranillo 90 years old. Now, back in the 70s, all the other Rioja, or a lot of the Rioja winemakers, uprooted their old vines and planted vines to produce mass quantity, not quality. So these vines barely produce any grapes, 1 kilogram of grapes per vine, which is really small, and the result is a really concentrated grape that just makes these incredible 2 wines. Now, I decided to import both of them because they're both very different wines, and I think the most interesting way to experience is opening them both up at the same time and then being able to compare them and see the different flavors. And again, they're really high quality. They're going to last for an extra day or 2, so if you can't finish both bottles in one evening, you don't need to worry about it, as long as you're ready to keep drinking the next night or the night after. So, moving on, let's talk about Joao's wine. We've got another blend of Portuguese grapes, and this is from the Douro. It's south of the Douro, and it has a lot of really elegant wine. And the earth has a lot of granite and quartz, and it's just a totally different climate, totally different terroir, and really a totally different style, and not even in the same ballpark as our Colheito over here. So this is really concentrated. It's not fined. It's not filtered. And you're going to notice that it tastes like a very rare treat. I rarely see wines like this in the United States, just because it is so minimalist, and that minimalist intervention showcases these intense flavors amazingly. And it's kind of hard to describe, so I really hope you get to try this wine. So 2006, it's been aging in the cellar for, 8 years now. And when you actually take off this top, you're going to notice probably there's a little bit of mold in there. And that's because it literally was being stored in a humid cellar, the way wine should be stored for all those years. So that's actually a very good sign. Anyways, what you might be able to tell what my expectations of wines at this price point is intensity and boldness. Intensity, not always from oak, not always something just crazy alcohol, not crazy oak, but intensity of flavors and concentration of flavors. So we've got, I think these are upwards of over 14% alcohol, 13.5%, and this one's 13%. So intensity of flavor and boldness for me isn't always just in oak and alcohol, but like I said, the intensity of those flavors. So I hope you get to try these and start learning what that means and how delicious of a wine that can produce. So anyways, I really hope you get to try these, and if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. See ya!